Okay, let's give you a quick overview of MeeGo 1.0, which I've got installed here on a MeeGo1.0, which is one of the early netbooks. It's a clone of the MSI Wind. I've installed it to the hard drive, and I've been playing with it for the past half a day. Let's say I've had about 3 hours using it. So I just want to give you some quick impressions. I'm also working on an article, and I thought it would make sense to include a quick demo in this article as well. So let's give you a quick overview of MeeGo 1.0 for netbooks. I'm going to drive this with a mouse so I don't get my hands in the way of the screen, but it's looking very much like Moblin 2.1, which we saw I think in the end of January this year. So similar idea of My Zone, which is showing some of your social media details, appointments, and some favorited applications. And then as you go through, we've got zones, which basically is one or more of the following tabs: applications, people, status, internet, media, and devices. Now there's not really much change here when you look at when you look at Moblin compared to MeeGo 1. So what they've really done is basically brought all the packages together with MeeGo, giving it a little branding exercise, and made a few core changes that really the end user won't see. And remember, this isn't really an end user operating system. This is a release to people like OEMs and resellers, software distributors, that will take this and build on it and add their own features in. So things like Skype are missing, Open Office is missing, and a lot of the things you would expect to see from a really good consumer-focused operating system. But the big change is that they've installed Chromium as the browser, as the default browser, and they've done quite a good job, or made at least quite a good decision to do that, I believe, because Chromium is fast, slim, and is also in this edition able to go full screen, which is nice. So let's just connect to network here, connect to my local one. Yes, you can see my password, and this is an N. Actually, the Wi-Fi module in the MSI Wind is not a common module, so I'm surprised it actually works. But let's go back to the internet here, and then we can have a look. Let's go to UMPC portal and connect it over Wi-Fi, and as you can see, it's fairly swift, and straight away we can see that Flash is working, and that the load speeds are pretty good. If we go to full screen there, it's actually quite impressive how quick it is. I've done some JavaScript tests on this, and it seems to be extremely quick. So it's obviously a very recent build of Chrome. And when you start to think about online applications like Google Docs, let's go to docs.google.com, and where operating systems like Android fail here, this one really isn't a problem at all. It's working extremely well with Google Docs. Of course, this is a Google browser, so it's unlikely to have any problems. Let's have a look at another website with a similar name, MeeGo. MeeGo, and this is a online integrated messaging, instant messaging platform, which all runs mostly on Ajax, I believe. But what I could do is try and log into. Let's try and log into ICQ here, if I can remember my details. No, I think probably Yahoo might be better to try. Let's just pause that and log into Yahoo. So I've logged into my Yahoo Instant Messenger, and that's all working as expected, and the application is running inside the window quite nicely. Go to full screen, and that's actually quite a nice experience there. So I think you can say that most things, if not all things, if not as much as you could expect on the desktop, is going to work. YouTube is even working as well, so it's kind of proving that you're getting the full internet experience here.
Now the police are going to be after me. I've got a new fast toy, kind of. Not that boy toy, this thing. I like them black.
So looking quickly at a couple of other features, we've got the instant messenger here. I'm logged into Gtalk. All my contacts are shown here, along with their statuses. Not a fantastic use of screen space in this example. To have just 12 contacts shown on a screen this big is fairly limited, but if you think about how this might be used in a touchscreen type environment or on a smaller screen type environment, you can kind of see that there's room for finger and room for actually running this on a smaller screen. So when you think about more mobility type scenarios, that's probably not a bad thing. The media player in here is what's it called? One second. Banshee, I think, is taking a moment to load, but has some pretty reasonable features. The only problem I have with it is it's not playing my integrated, the media I imported from the USB stick. I think there's some problem with format support on this at the moment, but again, this is not end user product. This is a product that needs to be cleaned up, tidied up by software vendors. Finally, let's just have a quick look at the applications area. This is similar to what we've seen on Mobilin, and you pin your favorite apps on the left hand side and they appear here on the front page. And now there's not a lot installed here. There's a couple of things of note. They've put the garage in, the MeeGo garage. People from MIMO will know about the garage, which is just a kind of very simple user interface for one-click install, actually double-click install of files. The only problem is, if I try and install something down here, it will try and install, and you'll probably get an error message that it fails. All of the apps I've tried in Garage at the moment fail to install. If we go back to the home zone now, you'll see it's really a timeline of things that have happened as I went through web and social media here. The websites I viewed are out there in the history, and there's some tweets in there as well. Clicking on the tweets actually only takes you to the browser, and Twitter on the browser, so this is not a full Twitter client, but that could be improved quite easily, I think, to integrate a proper Twitter client in there. So in summary, not much better than MIMO, and definitely not a polished operating system product here. But when you think about Chromium and the full internet experience that this is giving you out of the box, which is a lot better than on Android, especially when you look at web apps, and when you think about the compatibility between MeeGo and Moorestown platforms, the always-on platform from Intel, you can start to see that there are some nice possibilities for smart devices. And of course, sizing on the UI is nice for finger. I would have loved to have tried this on a touchscreen, but unfortunately it's not installing on my Gigabyte Touch Note. So if we look to next week and after Computex, I'm hoping that I'll be able to talk a little bit more about how MeeGo will work on the Moorestown platform, and how it should be one of the more interesting, smart, full internet experience platforms. Apps need to be added in, and the App Store is obviously being worked on by Intel, but until we see a product, I don't see developers coming into that very quickly, so that problem needs to be solved. Intel are trying to seed it, but that will probably start working when people finally see the product on a nice consumer focused end user product. So anyway, that's MeeGo 1.0. My name's Chippy from UMPC Portal. It is May the 27th. MeeGo 1.0, a week before Computex. I should have a lot more information after Computex. Thanks for watching.